Welcome back for lesson 2 of the Ukrainian national anthem. Again, my only suggestion, call out, ask of the audience, of you piping at home, is donate to the Good Samaritan purse. I got a link below in the video. If you're not from Canada, on that link is still Good Samaritan Purse Societies in other countries. So you can find the one in your country, donate $20, and let's keep on our journey of learning the Ukrainian national anthem. We're getting into the second part, or line 3 here. This is the sheet music based off of Calum, Galleitch, and Neil Falkirk piping is how I got exposed to this music, so you can check out those as well. So this second part, we're on the C, so all our top hands, fingers, and thumbs, if you have more than one thumb on the top hand, is on the holes. Our bottom hand, middle 2 fingers are up, outside 2 fingers are down. So we're on the C. We're going to do a C strike, and I'm keeping the embellishments very simple in this video so you can get this tune out on your pipes, out on the streets, so the world can hear you play the Ukrainian national anthem wherever you are as quick as we can. So we're on the C. We're just going to do a simple strike down. Try to get those 2 fingers, cover the holes at the same time, and pop up together. So this is, you know what I said in the last video, anytime we end a sequence at the same note, on the same note as the note we started the sequence, it's a great one to repeat. So this, what I just played there, we're going to walk through it, but then you can pause the video and put that on repeat, because we start with that C strike. We do this kind of little run down, run up, run down, and then we do another C strike. So let's talk about that run. After our first C strike, we're going to pop up to F, which we did before in lesson 1 in the first video. So we should be getting comfortable with that transition up to F from the bottom hand now. So after that strike F, we're just walking down the scale, down to E, down to D, down to C, down to B. So we just walk down the scale. All those notes are even. By even, I mean they're the same length. And after we get all the way down to that B, we go up to C, up to D. And this is where we all of a sudden skip a note. So we've gone down from F, we've gone down 1 note at a time all the way down the scale to, what did we go down to? We went down to B, then we go up the scale 1 note at a time, 2 notes up to D. And then we skip a note. We go from D, instead of walking down to B again, we skip C and we boom, straight to B. So we skip that C there. So that transition, pinky has to come up, and those top 2 fingers of the bottom hand come down. So that transition, boom, then we go up to the C, pinky finger has to come down, and then we do our strike. And that's our C strike we're ending on, and we start with a C strike 2. So let's just play that, and that's about the first half of the line. So let's just play that over nice and slow. And just to talk a little bit about the rhythm, I said where we're doing that run up and run down, all those notes are the same length, and they all get half a beat. So our C's there all get 1 beat. Dum, dum. And then the runs, there's 2 of those notes happening every beat. So they each are happening in half a beat. Dum, 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 dum. So if you're tapping your foot, those down beats are the long C's, the run up and down. every time your foot goes down, one of those notes happens, and every time your foot goes up, one of those notes happens. So we don't want to da 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 like it's there. That's not what we're after. The swing jive feel. It's this. They're all even. Dun 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 dun, and then we have those long C's. So once more, and then we'll move on to the second half of the line too. So here we go. Oh, I did that strike a bit early. This is a slow tune. It's very hard, especially as pipers, to want to rush this tune, but it is a slow tune. So so that ending bit, we've done our C strike. So that ending bit, that's the proper way. I'll explain more in a moment, but it's a long beat before we do the strike, and then it's got 2 beats before that strike. Okay, so we've done our C strike in that first phrase we worked on. Now we go up to D. So we've just lifted one note up to D, and then we hop up to that F, which we're really good at, because this is the same thing we did in lines 1 and 2. Sorry, we're up to D, then the F. So that's actually, yeah, that's the same as the last 2 bars in line 2. So once you get that tricky run up and run down, all those even notes I was going on and on about, you got the whole line, because the whole second line is the same as the whole start of the first line. So let me play that or the second part of the line, I should say. So we're talking about the third line here in this lesson, just to clarify. So I'll play through the whole third line, and then I'm going to go through the fourth line as well, and we'll talk about little bits in the fourth line if we need to. Here we go. Play along if you're ready. Okay, so all my talk so far about that ending bit being the same as line 2, that's because I was on the fourth line. So what we just did before all this was the fourth line. The fourth line, the second half of the line is the same as line 2, and you're probably sitting at home going, yeah, Alec, I already knew that. You're a little bit mixed up. So what I just played is the actual third line. If I could count lines, you would be less confused at home. So hopefully this makes sense. You might have to go back and watch the video, but ignore half of it. So to be clear, the fourth line, the second half of the fourth line is the same as the second half of the second line. But let's talk about the second half of the third line. It's similar, but is a little bit different, but very, very much the same timing. So we've done that C strike. We go up to the D. I didn't lead you astray there. So we go up to the D, and then we're going to do a grace note on that D. I suppose you could do a D strike as well, but I think I'm going to teach a grace note here. So that's this, like, really keeping these embellishments quite simple. That's how that end of that third line sounds. So we've gone up to the D, we've done our grace note. You could do a strike too if you'd rather, not both, but do one or the other. So we've... And then we hop up to, not F this time, but we're hopping up to E. So we've done that transition, I think, in lesson 1, going from D to E. So we're on the E, and then we're going to do an E strike. Or I suppose you could do a grace note, one or the other. And then we hit that F, and that F gets 2 beats before we do a strike, and then that F gets 2 beats after the strike. So it's kind of like the ending in the 4th line, and the 2nd line, it's that really long note, then we have a strike, then a really long note. So 2 beats, strike, 2 beats. This time, instead of on the B, like in the 4th line, we're up on the F. So if you're not too mixed up at home, still following along, I'm going to play through the 3rd, then the 4th line all together, nice and slow. And then you already have section 1. This is section 2. And I'll see you in video 3, lesson 3, for the 3rd section. And again, give to the Good Samaritan purse. They're funding mobile hospitals in Ukraine. I think that's amazing. I work at a hospital. I can't even imagine evacuating patients when there's bombs going off, let alone how all these people are getting their healthcare needs met when everything's going crazy. So give $20 to the Good Samaritan purse or a reputable charity, international aid organization in your country. So here we go, nice and slow, and I'll go through the 3rd and 4th line here.